Okay, everybody. Yep, I've had a couple of drinks and now I've got my brain back. Because now I've only got 37 minutes to talk about this. Anywho, so I'm going to humble myself by saying I've only been riding motorcycles about 10 years. And I'm going to give you the foreshadowed story of how I got into this. I had an NCO told me you need to take a motorcycle riding course. So-and-so sergeant says you drive a four-wheeler like ain't nobody's fucking business. And that I can. I should race them, son of a bitches. Anywho, I am magical on a fucking Raptor, you know, like quad runner type of thing. So I went to the motorcycle course at Fort Hood, and the guy who was instructing it was such a misogynistic asshole. He failed me and the other girl that were in the class. We were the only two females. Her husband had bought her a sport bike, a racing bike type of thing. And I just wanted to learn any kind of two-wheel element. I wasn't as serious about the endorsement as she was because her husband wanted her to ride with her. And being in the military, you have to have all this crap in order to ride your bike. I wasn't even prepared at that point to invest in getting a motorcycle. I was just interested in learning the fundamentals. So, failing the endorsement was not a big fucking deal to me. I did it because NCO signed me up and said, you need to learn so you can go out on these rides with us. And I was like, I don't even own a bike. Oh, we'll get you one. Yeah, okay, whatever. Anyway, so I played the game. I went and did the endorsement. He failed me. I passed all the academic shit. It's like I aced the exams, whatnot. I anticipated the quick stop. How can you fail by anticipating a quick stop? Yeah, and my figure eight sucked. Just saying. You know, and it was on a little 200. I wasn't comfortable yet. I just need a little bit more practice, right? That's all I needed. So, fast forward, and say 6 months there. Then I went to Germany, and then I came home, built my tiny house, started working at concrete, and I was driving 53 miles one way to get to work. And I was talking to one of the guys, and I was like, you ride, right? And he's like, yeah, I ride. I got, like, electric glides and, whatever. I was like, he's like, the wife took them. But, he goes, yeah, I can ride anything on two wheels. I was like, I think I'm gonna buy a motorcycle. I need to learn. And I can't learn in those group kind of things. I got to learn it myself. Yeah, I'll help you. So we went to his house, got his trailer, and I went to the Harley dealership, and I went and bought me a motorcycle that day. And he came with me and got me a helmet. That one. The one with the Kitty Banana sticker on it. Anywho. I called him like a week before, and I asked him, I was like, listen, I'm only 5'2". I don't know really what I'm looking for. I asked my mom. My mom's endorsed. She's been endorsed since I was like 3 years old, right? She can still ride, yes. Get her a trike. I don't know if I got her a bike, it wouldn't even be, it would be a 200. No, because she wouldn't be able to hold up a big one. But she said to me, if you get anything, make sure it's bigger than a 500. 200s are too small, even for starting people. You're gonna outgrow it so fast because you're experienced on four-wheelers. You're going to outgrow it so fast that within 6 months you're going to have another one and you're going to go up into a 1200. So what do I have now? I have a 2100. Anyway, it was a 108 that I trained myself on. All right. Well, the purpose of this is that even though I taught myself, there was a lot of things that I did not know a lot of things that I had to learn, and a lot of things that I still am learning and getting used to. Now, when I did the bald knob, oh, I got my sticker too. This sticker here, that is the Bald Knob Blessing of the Bikes. If you've never been to Bald Knob, Illinois, they have this gigantic cross up there. Friend of mine that rode the Busa invited me along with his MC, and him and a bunch of his friends that he was, you know, what have you, you know, in cahoots with, in that MC, we all rode up there, and I had the best time ever. One of the things that I learned from a couple, and they're great, and she's still on my Facebook, thank God. I mean, because, you know, if there's ever somebody who has taught me to control my aggression of my mouth, because, oh yeah, my bark is worse than my bite, I can assure you. She was like, you show your aggression through your mouth. I said, yes, and it's very scary, isn't it? She goes, yes, it is. Calm. I said, oh, USA. You know the USA. She goes, I know the USA. Anyway, her husband, nice, sweet lady, absolutely wonderful lady. They have over 100,000 miles amongst the both of them riding. Now, I have about, in less than the 10 years, in the 10 years that I've been riding, I have close to 50,000 miles. That's the honest to God truth. I have 25,000 on that one. I bought the other one with 4,999 on it. I practiced around with it, and I sold it. I think it had 22,000 on it when I sold it or traded it for furniture. It was like, get it out of my garage. Had enough of this thing. It needs a lot of work, but I'll trade you because it needs so much work. I'm not going to be able to get what I think it, you know, I should. You know, I paid about, you know, after it paid it off, it was like 18,000. No big deal. That one out there, 34 out the door. So what he was telling me was the way the V10 twin engine works is, something stuck in my teeth. Hang on. Distraction factor going on here. Hold on. It's probably a crumb from lunch. Jesus, because I didn't brush my teeth after lunch. He said your throttle is your friend, and your friction zone is your friend, and riding slow is an art on this type of bike, on the bagger type of motorcycle. Sport bikes and whatnot, they're lightweight. They're very light. My Softail, super light. Absolutely. I mean, that it was like 670 pounds. It was so light. Right? Street bikes are even lighter. And they go way faster. Way quicker. Street glides, ultra glides, Softails, if they got bag systems on them. Softails are really hard to fit depending on the year. You have to reconfigure the pipes and change the light system and move the plate, and yeah, good times. If you get a Softail, prepare to do a lot of mod if you want bags. Just saying. They might have designed it different. They might have updated their Softail line so that the plate wasn't in the fucking way and the pipes aren't in the fucking way. The pipes are in the way. They're always in the way. Anyway, Indian's got a line where they have the same kind of configuration, and they've designed it where you have some kind of baggage element where, yeah, well, at least, you know, a lot of girls buy their Scout models. And they've got Scouts that have bags that fit through Indian. And they're probably ridiculous expensive because everything in Indian is fucking expensive. Just saying. Putting it out there. I know I look like an eclectic anomaly on an Indian, but hang on. Let me get another drink. I'll be right back. Okay. So, because the algorithm is reading my mind, what's coming up in my feed, because of what I've been recording and posting and looking at, like, pretty much all day long, whatever, is motorcycles. So, there is a channel called Be the Boss of Your Motorcycle. And he's absolutely right. I didn't even get through the entire video. I learned exactly what this couple was telling me in regards to riding a bagger. Now, when I first got my motorcycle, they had it aired up, like, all the way. And I really didn't understand the air ride system. Like, the bike had 1 mile on it when I pulled it off the yard when I purchased it. And a buddy of mine from work drove me up there to go get it. And he followed me for a little bit. And then when he saw me take off, he was like, oh, yeah, she can. Then when I got it home, that was a totally different fucking animal. Getting it in and out of the garage was a completely different animal. I have just recently gotten comfortable with backing it out and pulling it in a U-turn out of my garage. When I first got this bike, I had a shed out back, and I built a ramp so I could pull it in and then pull it out. So I didn't have to push it and back it up. Even though I had a garage and I had, the pavers down and everything, I just couldn't do it. It was so heavy. I've just now gotten used to it. Now, the weird thing about riding motorcycles and learning baggers and cruisers and, whatnot, you start at a certain size, and the more you ride, the more you adapt. And the more you adapt, the smaller your bike will feel. There's that. Now, me, I am not blind to the fact that my bike is a top-heavy bitch. I drop it all the time. Not because I'm moving or trying to maneuver. I'm at a stop. Literally at a fucking stop. And if I am not focused completely on holding that motherfucker vertical, and my knee or my leg just gets a little lazy, we going down. I've never gotten hurt by doing that with it timbering on me. But it has happened at least a few times. Now the Softail, that one, I had dropped it 2-3 times moving. Because I was not experienced in pre-throttling and friction zone. Okay? Now, I actually, when I was with, Cluster B Milkshake with Sprinkles, his mom and I and him were all going out to lunch. She brought us into a fucking danger zone. And he was like, oh my God, what are you trying to kill her, Ma? And I didn't think. Yeah, we should have gone the other way. But it was such a steep hill, and at the top of it, I had to stop and get my bearings and look both ways and then whip it out. He stopped he came back and stopped traffic so I could fly out and get into the death lane to move out. Because once I got up to the top of that hill, there was no stopping. The bike was too fucking heavy for that particular road arrangement. for me in that regard. I won't go down it now. Even having gotten comfortable with the bike, I won't take that route. Full well knowing. Anything with a kick on the top and an angle, like if the road is like this and the crossroad is like that, I won't take it. I'll run the red light, I'll run the stop sign, or I will nurse up to it and wait for I'll wait down here and watch for traffic, and if it's on a blind, there are certain scenarios that bikes cannot withstand without risking dropping them. And hills like this at stops is one of them. I have one right here in the subdivision. I could pull the softail through them all day long, every day, no problem. Never, I mean, they might spin a little, getting up there, whatever. But this one, totally different machine. But this guy, be the boss of your motorcycle, he's spot on. Your throttle is your friend. Your friction zone is your friend. Now, you get to a point where you get comfortable with the size of your motorcycle, and you start to feel like your motorcycle is too small. Good. I will not be going bigger anytime soon. I might get another one of those in a newer year with extra licky chewies on it to make me comfortable. But as far as going up into a bigger bike, proportionately, hell no. Hell no. I've had that one and I've paid it off and I'm still not used to it. It still scares me. I am still very cautious as to how I maneuver, where I maneuver, and, you know, as far as grade and train, whatever. My brother-in-law was following me out to my stepsister's after the funeral. I said, there's just that one fucking hinky corner. And he's like, which one's that? I said, the first stop sign we come to. It kicks up like this and then it flattens out. He's like, does it really? I said, you don't notice it in a car. He's like, how did you notice it? Have you ever been out there on your bike before? I was like, no. I said, I noticed it in my pickup. First time I went out there. Reconning. So I could come out and like hang out and visit whatever on the bike. As opposed to taking the truck all the way out here because it costs me so much money in fuel, right? So when I got it out there, then the other challenge was when I got to her house is kind of downhill. Her driveway kind of comes downhill, right? From the main street. But it kind of tapers up. And then there's a flat spot over by her secondary garage. So I pulled in and I went along the grass. And then I said, the tricky part is getting out the driveway facing this way. And he's like, why is that? I said, I'm going to have to back up and get a running head start. And they were like, where is she going? My nephew's pickup truck is parked right here, and I went way past it. And I got up as soon as I got to the hard top of the driveway, I was able to get up on there. But if I had taken off where I had originally parked, I would have dropped it right at the top. There is a throttle control on motorcycles that a lot of people take advantage of, especially when you're dealing with them heavy bitches, because that's 900 pounds plus. Softail was 600 pounds. 600 pounds on a motorcycle, that's like spinning a basketball. They weigh nothing. They really fucking do. They weigh nothing. 600 pound machine weighs nothing. And it was only 2 CI smaller in engine than what I'm riding now. Now I could get that upgrade and get the faceplate changed and get it to a 117. I'm not that fucking egotistical. I don't need it, right? I'm pretty content with what I've got. But I love this guy, how he is talking to them and explaining to them that slow maneuvering baggers is an art. Anybody can go fast on a fucking motorcycle. Anybody. It's being able to maneuver them slow. Coming up to a stop. Being in like thick of traffic. And being able to friction zone and throttle in second and first gear while traffic is going stop and go. And not having to literally stop and put your feet down. That's an art. I can do that. Don't ask me to do figure eights and U-turns. Don't. I'm still, after driving 10 years, I still don't feel comfortable doing them. I can do them if I'm prepared to do them. But if I'm like highway patrol motorcycles, they see someone speeding and they're like, wow, and you're like, aha, you fucking magical god, you. Yeah, see it all the time. Like, oh, that was beautiful. Yeah. So, yes, I've been riding motorcycles for 10 years. Yes. I can see the error of people's ways. Yeah, but am I comfortable all the time? Not exactly. And I ride my shit all the way out to Idaho and back. Didn't drop it once. All the way to Colorado and back. Didn't drop it once. All the way to New York twice. Didn't drop it once. Softail all the way to New York and back. Didn't drop it once. But I will drop that silly fucker, getting it out of the garage first thing in the morning, going to work with it. Swear to God, honest engine. Because I'm a fucking tart. And calling the guys from work to come, hey, I'm a dumbass. Oh shit, what'd you do now? I dropped the bike, getting it out of the garage. Hurry up, get to my house. Help me lift this fucker up. Well, that morning I done a video on that. Yeah, I managed by some, I think my buddy that died of cancer was with me, helping me push it up. Because it seemed like it was fucking too easy. I was like, I have struggled with this. This is not the first time I've dropped this bike in this yard. In this yard, particularly. I've dropped it elsewhere, but this yard, particularly, more than anywhere else in the world. Just parking it. They come running to my rescue, but I managed to get it up. And then, shit, it wasn't even like 48 hours later. I did a ride. I was fucking exhausted. I got home, went to go put it in the garage, dropped it right there in the front garage door. It was open, but right there on the threshold. I'm sitting there just like, you need to just park this shit. Retire your driver's license. No, it just, shit happens. You get tired, your legs get weak, you're not paying attention, you're not focused. Focus. It happens. But what this guy is talking about is, honest to God, he is gospel. He has got the Bible of motorcycle riding in his head. I swear to God, check him out. Be the boss of your motorcycle. If you're thinking about getting a bagger, you're thinking about riding a motorcycle, he has got it on lock. Swear to God. God bless him. So, y'all, have a great weekend. Or what's left of it. It's supposed to rain if you're down here, so I don't know. Get yourself a canopy. Barbecue under a tent. I don't know what to tell you. I ain't doing anything. Probably going to try to clean this house a little. Ain't gonna get far. I'll be lucky if I get laundry folded and put away and the bed changed and whatnot. No. Yep. Yeah. Hot mess hairdo. Yeah. Yes, I am. Peace out, y'all.